Hey guys, how's it going? Dragox55 here, and today we're going to be using this new mic to show off a new deck that I made. This is the Go for Broke deck. Basically what this deck is it's a gamble deck. So, yep, hopefully this mic picks me up very well so I can record this. So anyways, so we start off with two Mr. Blowback Dragons. What this card does is you can, well, once per turn, you can target one card your opponent controls, then toss a coin 3 times. After that, if two of the results are heads, you destroy the card. If they're not, then you don't. And you have to attack, of course. And you could still attack if you activate this effect, so. Basically he's very powerful for a luck-based monster. Basically everything in here is luck-based, around coin tossing, rolling a dice or something. But yeah, basically, his effect is very luck-based, and yeah. Not too much to say. Let's see. 3 dice jar, probably the most dangerous of the cards in the deck. Basically what happens is you set this card, and then when it's flipped, either by you flipping it over or by it being attacked or something like that, both people roll dice. Now in the game it's gonna show like a red box and a blue box. So the blue box is you and the red box is your opponent. So if you weren't too sure, that's basically how you would know. So anyways, both people roll dice. The one with the higher number doesn't take the, is it? Oh no, let me just read the stupid card. Both players roll a 6-sided die. The player with the lower result takes damage equal to the opponent's roll. So okay, it is when whoever rolls bigger, the opponent takes the damage. If you happen to roll a 6, your opponent takes 6,000 damage. If you roll anything lower, like 1, well, no. If you roll a 5, 4, 3, and 2, your opponent will take times 500 of each. So it goes 2,500, 2,000, 1,500, and 1,000 damage. So all pretty good when you're doing this, but it does backfire if your opponent gets a higher roll, so be careful about that. One sand or gambler of legend. Basically there's a card like this where you have to get 3 heads, which is Sand Gambler, but that card sucks. So anyways, once per turn you can toss a coin 3 times, and according to how many heads / tails you get will determine what happens. Personally, I kinda don't like this card, but it's still luck based, so it's not too bad unless you get 1 heads. So like if you get 1 head or 3 tails, I don't know. I just noticed that. Oh yeah, never mind. Okay, so if you get 1 head or 3 tails, it pretty much is bad for you. 1 head, you blow up one of your cards. 3 tails, you lose your whole entire hand. But it's a plus side if you get 3 or 2 heads, which you pretty much are going to be playing this when A, your opponent has a bunch of monsters on the field and you want to try to take them out 1 hit. B, when you want to make your opponent discard a random card. I mean, both of those are pretty good effects, so. I forgot to put Dark Hole in here, but it's not super needed. 2, I have no idea how to pronounce this. But basically, when it's destroyed by battle, you flip a coin. After you flip the coin, if it's what you called, then you destroy your opponent's monster. Well, you can destroy whatever monster you want of theirs, so it's pretty good. If you have problems with certain monsters, you just set this and it's basically like Man-Eater Bug, but of course it's luck based. So next up we have 1 maximum 6. I thought about running 2 or 3, but personally I don't think it's really worth it, because if you get a 1 or a 2, let me think, yeah, if you get a 1 or a 2, you only get to like 2,100 or 2,300, which you would be like, well, it's not that bad. But then again, most monsters nowadays are at least 2,500, so you at least have to get like a 3 just to keep in contact. Even Monarchs can run over this if it has 2,300, even though Monarchs technically run over pretty much anything, so just saying. Anyways, 2 Morphing Jar 2s. Basically, you set it, and when it's flipped, you shuffle all monsters on the field. Both of you will keep milling cards until you get to a monster, and you have to get to the same amount of monsters that you had on the field. So for example, if you had 3 monsters and this card was flipped, you would mill until you get to 3 monsters. Anything level 4 or lower would be set, if it could be special summoned of course, and anything level 5 and higher will automatically be sent to the grave. So very simple of a card. It confused me at first too, but don't worry, it's very simple to understand. 1 roulette barrel, testing it out. I don't know how I feel about it, but it does have 2,000 defense, so it's pretty nice. His thing is, you roll a dice 2 times and you choose 1 result and destroy the monster of that level. Now keep in mind that anything die related can only hit from levels 1 to 6, so if you're battling dragon rulers, you're probably not going to want to use this deck. Or spell cat books, my bad. And yeah, pretty much those 2, because they rely on level 7s. So just be careful about when using that. And be careful not to summon too many level 4s, because if you get like 2 4s, then you will be kind of out of a monster. So yeah, be careful when using this, because if you get a 4 and a 4, you're pretty screwed. 2 Sasuke Samurai, I'll show you what I used to have in the deck, but I think this one works a lot better. Basically, when this card battles, if it's being attacked or it attacks a monster, and I knocked my water bottle over, great, hold on. And that got picked up in the mic, great. So, basically, you toss a coin. If it's head, I hate reading these because it's kind of obvious. You call a coin, you call heads or tails for a coin toss, of course. If you call it right, the monster is destroyed. If you call it wrong, well, this card will, you'll take the damage and probably this card will be destroyed. So it's pretty good if you just want to run into a defense position monster, or even if you're trying to take out a big old monster. The effect makes it so you don't take damage from attacking, so if you get call it right, but you'll see how well this works with a certain card. 3 Snipe Hunters. Trying to debate on putting it at 2, but then again, I mean, Sasuke Samurai would probably be good at 3 and Snipe at 2, but who cares? Anyway, so you discard 1 card, target 1 card on the field, roll a 6-sided die, and you can basically, you discard a card, target 1 card on the field, and as long as you don't get 1 or 6 in a roll, you can destroy the card. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying what these cards do. Maybe it's because I'm not using my old mic that is like getting my focus off. I don't know. So anyways, when this card is summoned, oh, I forgot to say name. 3 Twin Barrel Dragons. When, what's it called? When you summon this card, you flip 2 coins, or you flip a coin 2 times. Yes, okay. If you get 2 heads, you destroy the card If you get no heads, nothing happens. So we play 3 because he's 1700, pretty nice. His effect is pretty good, and he does have decent attack to attack. However, I'm not too sure about him because of his effect not being so great, but with the cards coming up, it will make sense. So next up we have 3 Cup of Ace. Basically, you toss a coin 2 times, not 2 times, toss a coin, and then if it's heads, you draw 2 cards. If it's tails, your opponent draws 2 cards. I personally hate this card so much because I'm not lucky enough to use it. What I mean by that is that I'm not lucky enough to get the benefit of it. So, yeah. But it's needed in the deck. I mean, you could probably replace it with Pod Duality, but since this is a go for broke deck, it's needed in the deck. So 2 dangerous machine type 8 or 6, and basically you roll a 6-sided die, and depending on what it is, you apply the effect. If you get a 1, you discard 1 card. If you get 2, your opponent discards a card. 3, you draw a card. 4, your opponent draws a card. 5, you destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. And 6, this card blows up. So basically, you want to hope that you don't get a 1, 4, and 6. So basically, you want to hope to get 2, 3, and 5. So, and yeah, you can play both of them at once, which wouldn't be super bad, but I wouldn't suggest playing both of them at once because it could end badly for you. So next up we have Dice Foon. Basically what happens is you roll a 6-sided die, and if the result is 2, 3, or 4, you destroy 1 spell card or trap. If the result is 5, you destroy 2 spell traps, whatever. And if the result is 1, you take 1000 damage. Or if the result is 6, oh, it's 1 or 6. I didn't know that. If it's 1 or 6, you take 1000 damage. Basically, this is your replacement for MST. You can run MST whatever, but this card personally is a little better than MST, but not too much where it becomes too luck based. In this deck is perfect, but in other decks not really. I don't know, it depends. Second coin toss. You basically can perform a coin toss for a second time. So basically, let's say you activate, I don't even know where you went, Gambler of Legend. You toss your coins and whatever, and then you get 3 tails somehow. It's not impossible, but it's ridiculous. Anyway, so you get 3 tails. You can activate second coin toss to activate its effect again, and hopefully you'll get 2 heads or 3 heads or whatever. So, and it's still luck based, so it doesn't matter if second coin toss is out on the field or not. Yeah, you can only activate 1 second coin toss, so like the effective one, so there's no point in playing both at one time. Dice reroll. This basically lets you reroll for dice based effects. So yeah, you only get this effect once per turn. So if you activate dice reroll, you can't do dice reroll again. So dice jar, if you don't like the rolls you get, then you do it again. Same thing for, I'm trying to find another one, Snipe Hunter, Dangerous Roulette, or Dangerous Machine Type 6, Dice Foon, which don't use it for Dice Foon or Dangerous Machine Type 6, because personally I would save it for Snipe Hunter or Dice Jar, because if you go using it for your spell cards and you don't use it for your monsters and your monsters don't like benefit you, I don't know, for some reason I thought Snipe Hunter blew itself up or something like that. But I wouldn't go using him for the spell cards in my opinion. 2 fairy box. As I said before, luck-based stuff. So anyways, you toss a coin, call it right, your opponent's monster becomes 0 attack, which they'll take, like, let's say 2000 damage, because this card will usually be in defense. But if they call it right, or if you call it wrong, this doesn't affect them. So, and you pay 500 each turn, so each one of your turns, I mean. Next up we have 1 Mirror Force, because I really didn't want to run this because I wanted it to be all luck based, but I kept on getting, for me I have to run Mirror Force because my luck is very horrible when it comes to luck based decks. So yeah, I guess that explains a lot. So Needle Wall is pretty good. You just activate it and you roll dice. If the numbers are according to, like, the monster zones. So 1 is the one on the far left, I believe, and then it's 2, 3, 4, 5 from left to right. If you get a 6, you roll again and you destroy whatever monsters on that spot. Now this won't affect anything like Dracosac if you like get a roll and it hits Dracosac and he has tokens, but it's something good to keep in mind. 6th Sense. Personally, I would never run this because this card is obscenely broken if you're playing like Lightsworn, Dragon Rulers, and whatever. But basically, since it is a roll or a luck based card anyways, it's good to actually run this in this because it gives you both benefits anyways. So you declare 2 numbers. Basically you declare 5 and 6 because that's the one that benefit you most. And if your opponent rolls that number, then you get to wait, what? I actually never use this card, so I'm trying to remember what it does. Declare 2 numbers from 1 to 6, then your opponent rolls a 6-sided die, and if the result is one of the numbers you declared, draw that many cards. Okay, so if it's 5 or 6, your opponent rolls, you get the cards. Like, you get 5 cards or 6 cards. If it's not, you mill those cards, so pretty bad if that happens, but whatever. 3 Path of Destiny. Basically, you toss a coin. Both of you toss a coin, you and your opponent. If it's heads, you gain 2,000. If it's tails, you take 2,000 damage. Simple enough. 1 Torrential Tribute. You summon a card, or if anyone summons a card, it blows everything up. For the extra deck, it's just basic level 4s because you can like make them easy. Cowboy, whatever, Chain, Chidori because you run the Sasuke Samurais, Mistroke, Black Ship, Key Beetle, because why not? The only one that matters is Crazy Box, and basically you roll dice. Well, you have to detach 2. This card cannot attack. 1, you have to half your life points. 2, you draw a card. 3, your opponent discards a card. And 4, you negate the effect of one face-up card on the field, which is spell or trap or monster. And 5, you destroy 1 card on the field, which I would recommend using this when your opponent has a card on the field, but that's just me. So you don't want to get a 1 and you don't want to get a 6. Photon, because why not? Roach, just level 4s, so. Basically I ran this card in the main deck, but now I switched it to the extra deck because it didn't help me out too much. But, Abre Ushioni, I believe that's how it's pronounced, I don't know. Once per turn, you can toss a coin. If you call it right, you inflict 1,000 damage. If you call it wrong, you take 1,000 damage. Marshmallow, because well, if you have horrible luck like me, you might want to run this in the deck. Marshmallow, or maximum 6, my bad. Just in case if you want another one. I forgot to mention, if you roll a 6-sided dice, it gets 200 times the roll amount, so. 1 time wizard, because it's luck based, you flip a coin, call it right, destroy all your opponent's monsters, you call it wrong, you destroy all your monsters, you take half the attack of all those monsters. 1 Tragodia, because this stops OTKs. Bad reaction to Samochi, because this will stop your opponent from gaining life points from the Path of Destinies, but it's not good enough to put in the main deck or have 2 in the side deck. 2 barrels behind the door, this stops you from taking damage. Yeah, if you would take damage, you can activate this. Usually this would be a main deck card, but it hasn't worked out for me yet, so I don't like to run it. Fire darts, you have to have no hand to activate this, so that's why this is in the extra deck. But you roll a 6-sided dice 3 times, and your opponent takes damage equal to the amounts times 100. So 5, 6, and 5, it'd be 500, 600, 500, which would be 1600. Not too great to have in the main deck, since you have to have no cards in hand anyway, so. 2 gambles, because why not? It's just a gamble based card, obviously. A magic cylinder, I'm not too sure why anyone would have this in the deck, but I guess it just helps. Mirror Force gets rid of monsters, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this deck. One thing to note, anything that prevents destruction effects, like Stardust for example, they can't negate any of these because of the fact that they're luck based. If anyone didn't know, Stardust can't negate any luck based effects, so it's pretty nice to know. Anything else I need to tell you? Not really, but basically go for broke. Horrible joke. Anyways, I will catch you guys later. Yeah, make sure you go try out the deck. The deck is definitely works 100%, I would say, but I would definitely not recommend it if you're not too lucky when it comes to decks. So yeah, and also you can run Machina Gear X or whatever, something X, a machine card, whatever, so you can add stuff like, actually never mind, because the only thing you can add is roulette barrel or twin barrel dragons, so never mind about that. Anyways, I will be catching you guys later as soon as I find this. Okay, and hopefully this goes well. I'll be using the other mic for the rest of the videos.